Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a Joel Embiid build, so make sure he's the center and we'll move on to the body settings. So Embiid's listed at 7 foot on basketballreference.com, so that's the height we're going to stick with. Now on the same website he's listed at 280 pounds, but we're not going to go that big for obvious reasons. It's not quite ideal on 2K if you want to keep some speed and other things. So what we're going to actually do is drop it to 245 pounds. So it just still maintains a lot of, the things that weight affects, but also boosts a bit of speed. Now in terms of the wingspan, we are going to push that to 7'9". You can go a bit higher, but I've just chosen just to drop it 1 inch and keep it at 7'9", just to keep the shooting, the 3-point shot above 80. But we'll move on to the attributes. Now for close shot, we're going to push that to 85. Obviously most of Embiid's work is done down low. He has shown an ability to go out and stretch the floor and hit threes. He's become a lot better at that over recent seasons. In fact, the last 2 seasons he's been shooting 37% from 3-point shots off about 3.5 attempts on average per game, which is not too bad, particularly for, more of an interior center. But we're still going to keep finishing nice and high. So close shot 85 for those gold fast twitch and masher badges. Now for driving layup, we are going to push that to 71. So at 70, you get some layup packages and then an extra badge point is what you get at 71. Now for driving dunk, we are going to push that to 72. So you get some packages at 70, and then at 72, you just get posterizer bronze, which could come in handy. Now the quick drop-offs are 80, so you won't get the quick drop-offs, of course. You can tinker with the build if you want those. But you will have to push it up 8 points to get that. Now for standing dunk, we are a big man, so we want those big man contact dunks. I'm going to push standing dunk to 90 to get those elites. You'll also get the contact alley-oops with this build as well, so they're there for those that are interested in that. Now for the post control, obviously he's a really good post player, so I've pushed it to 80 to get those post badges gold. So back down punishes gold, drop steppers gold, among other things. Post spins, Hall of Fame, Dream Shake if you play a lot of career, that's gold as well. So definitely a lot of post badges and capabilities here. I would love to have pushed it higher, but it does cost a fair bit. So 87 post controls there if you want that for both drop stepper and back down punisher. So you can also tinker with the build and boost up your post control as well. Now for shooting, like I said before, he's a decent shooter from range now. So I wanted to push 3-point shot up pretty high for a big man. So I pushed it to 76. So you will have pretty decent shooting. You can find good jump shots at 76 rated. I just recently seen a Joe Knows video of his Giannis build that's only got 73. And as long as you understand and know your jump shot, you can green easily with a 76. So make sure you get a good jump shot with this build and get a good layout of badges. But for 3-point shot, we're going to go to 76. And then mid-range, we're going to go to 73 just to boost those badge points up to get it to 16. Now for free throw, we are going to push it to 72. He's an 81% free throw shooter, so he's quite a decent free throw shooter for big men. That's usually something that big men struggle with, but he's a very good free throw shooter. But I've been able to push it to 72, which is not terrible. You should still hit a good clip with that rating. Now for playmaking, of course, in recent seasons he really likes to go out on the perimeter and face up and attack the rim that way. But it's just something in the build that I had to sacrifice because he is such a well-rounded player, both offensively and defensively. And he's not very quick on the ball anyway, so I think having 42 ball handle and 25 speed with ball is probably realistic for Embiid, and that's sort of what I want to go with here, a realistic build that you can use as a template and then adjust to however you like. But that will be the ball handle and speed with ball, and then for pass accuracy we are going to push that to 77. So at 77 we just get the bailout silver. Oh sorry, that was 78. At 77 we get the extra badge point, that's what we get. But also break starter gold. I play as a big man for my Pro-Am team. I think break starter is a very, very good badge to have this 2K. Obviously you can get away with not having it at high levels in previous 2Ks, but I really think with how passing is these days on 2K23, I think break starter is going to be very important for big men. So make sure you can get that gold. Now for defense, we are going to push interior defense to 86. Now, obviously, he's definitely a better defender than that. He's one of the best defensive big men in the league. He averages 1.7 blocks a game, but just because he's so well-rounded, I just couldn't push it any higher. Now, for perimeter defense, so I'm going to push that to 54, so you can switch out on guards. If you're really smart defensively, you are 7 foot with a 7'9" wingspan, so you should be able to recover and challenge shots well enough. Even with a 54 perimeter defense, on park it might be a bit more difficult just because there's less players on the court and there's a bit more room. But on 5v5, you should have no trouble switching out and at least contesting the shot. Now for steal, we are going to push that to 61. He only averages 0.9 steals a game, so he's not incredible in the passing lanes or stripping opponents, but you will have a decent steal rating. A mid-tier type of steal rating with, the bronze steal badges. Now for block, like I said, he's a really good shot blocker, so I definitely wanted to push this up and keep this high. So I've pushed it to 93 so that we get that gold anchor that you can equip. So that'll be a really good badge for a defensive big man. Now for offensive rebound, he does average 11.4 rebounds per game. Only 2.3 of them are offensive rebounds, so it's not a huge percentage. I've seen a lot of other players with a higher percentage of offensive rebounds to their total, but it's still pretty decent. Anything over 2.5-ish is pretty good, and he's just about at 2.5. So we're going to push offensive rebound to 85 and then defensive rebound to 93 so that we get that gold rebound chaser. And that'll be all for defense. Now for physicals, he's not the quickest man out in the court. He's definitely more of a Shaq. Even though Shaq was really athletic, in his later years, Shaq put on a lot of size and became a bit slower, and that's sort of what Embiid is. He's a very heavy center that uses his weight a bit more than his speed, although his first step is very quick, particularly in the post. But he's definitely more of a banger down low than he is a speed merchant. So we're gonna have pretty decent speed still for a center. 59 speed, 59 acceleration. It's not super quick. There's a lot of 6'11s out there that have got like the 70 speed, but generally you should be okay with a 59 speed and acceleration as long as you're not trying to do too much. That should get you by. Now for strength, we are going to push that to 82. I did want that silver bully because you do have an ability to drive. If you get backdoor passes, you don't really need to take any dribbles, but you still get the drive animation. So you can still get those layup and dunk animations. So bully can come in handy that way, and that's how my big man's set up. And it's very effective doing that. With those badges, you can get a lot of points that way, particularly with the smart point guard. Now on vertical, we do need the 75 vert for the contact dunks that we can equip at 7 foot. So, the big man contact dunks and the alley-oop contact dunks. And then for stamina, we're just going to chuck the rest on stamina for 90 stamina. And that's the build. So in total, we have 23 finishing, 16 shooting, 10 playmaking, and 28 defensive badges for a total of 77 badges overall. So, I think anywhere near 80 is really good. It's almost like the new 100 of last 2K. So 77 is very high. You're a really well-rounded center. Gold post moves, ability to stretch the floor. You got 85 close shot with gold close shot badges. You got the big man contact dunks with the contact alley-oops as well. You got good passing, particularly off a defensive rebound with that break starter. And then your defense is very, very well rounded as well. You got a capability to switch on to guards if you're smart enough. And you've also got a pretty good ability to protect the paint with your 7 foot height and 7'9" wingspan, but also against those 6'11", 6'10" centers. They're a bit smaller than you. You'll be able to really bully them down low with your height and length. You're about 4 inches longer than they are. So I think it's a really versatile center build. It should have a lot of fun with. Now for the takeovers, I just chose power backdowns for Embiid and paint intimidation. I just thought they were the most appropriate. And as you can see, you've got shades of Jack Sikma, Yusuf Nurkic, and Miles Turner. And you've made a defensive anchor. So he's a lot like Miles Turner, but with a more well-rounded offense, similar to that of Jack Sikma. If you know about Jack Sikma, he was one of the original stretch big men. So he's got Sikma's offense and Miles Turner's defense. So I think that they're good comparisons, but we'll take a look at the badges. So for the tier 1 badges in finishing for Embiid, I think a lot of them's just got to do with, you know, those backdoor cuts, getting the ball on the move and driving straight to the rim without taking a dribble. So, you know, limitless takeoff's going to be great, slithery finish is going to be great as well, and also fearless finisher. Now for the other badges, you know, posterizer as well, but mostly it's going to be drop stepper and back down punish. They're going to be your best bets. You know, you got aerial wizard there. I'll just equip these a bit lower, so I've still got some badge points to show you some other badges I would go with. But you know, rise up, definitely all these 4. If you can get most of these, I would look at, you know, rise up or fast twitch first, and then look at maybe masher or bully. Probably bully before masher. If you can get those, you might want to add some extra points into finishing if you're going to be more of a finisher than a shooter. Now the other badges for Embiid in shooting would be things like volume shooter. You know, he's the volume scorer on his team. You know, amps, you know, he does get fatigued, but his jump shot doesn't suffer. I've seen him close out games really well. You know, Claymore, he can spot up. He definitely likes to be, you know, a spot up shooter. You know, clutch shooter, like I said before, he's a clutch player. Slippery off ball is just great to have on bronze. I might just boost that up just to show some other badges. Oops. And then, you know, corner specialist. If you can call something in here, the other one I would go for is probably Deadeye. You know, he doesn't shoot from too far out, but you know, he's got those really long arms and he's really tall, so he can shoot over the top of closing out defenders. Now for playmaking, we definitely want things like Vice Grip. That's a really great badge. You know, you can get quick first step bronze. You know, break starters gold. You can get that up to gold. Those would be the 3 core ones I would look at. And then, you know, clamp breaker could be a good one. You can still dribble with a low ball handle and no speed with ball. You can still do it. You've just got to time it and, you know, hit a few shots early from 3, and then people will close out really aggressively, and you can just walk around them. You don't really need ball handle to do that, and you can go straight to the rim. So that's a really good way of doing it. Obviously, you can't get any tier 3 badges because you've only got the 10 points, even if you put all 4 into playmaking. So just look at the tier 1s and tier 2s. Now on defense, you definitely want things like post lockdown. He's a very good post defender, you know, box out beast, chase down artist, you know, challenger to close out on those shooters. If you ever get switched, interceptor could be a good one, but in your tier 3, definitely anchor. You know, he's the anchor of his team's defense, of Philly's defense. Brick wall, he's a real solid screener, you know, rebound chaser. And of course, pogo sticks there. He's not the most bouncy player. So for Embiid, it's probably not realistic for him to have this. But I think for the game, you probably want it as well. It's probably one of the key ones for a defender. But you can get all 4 of them on at least silver with some bronze badges down here. So, you know, you've got a lot of points here to use. So you should be able to find something really effective for you. All in all, that's the build. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a really great day.